Hello everyone, welcome back to Charmed Rewind, Winter Edition.
Sorta. Winter in an ice cream truck.
Look, they didn't do Christmas on Charmed. They had like a home video they watched in some episode that had Christmas in it, but there's no Christmas, so.
Very anti-Christmas at the Charmed house.
They are not into that. It would have been too much work to do a Christmas episode, so they're like, whatever.
What if we just don't bother? What if we do another episode about Phoebe crying about her love life?
Minimal Phoebe crying about her love life, though.
Yeah. Well, this is like the Prue days, so there's a little bit more effort going on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this, we ended up watching, this was season 3, episode 10, We All Scream for Ice Cream. This was chosen due to the fact that there is a sort of wintry setting. It's the only reason.
Yeah. In the ice cream truck dimension, it's very winter.
It's very winter in there. This was fun to watch this one. I was glad that we got to watch one in the Prue days again. Mm-hmm. Always refreshing.
Yeah. There's still some silly things in this, but it's a lot more competent than later Charmed. Yeah,
I enjoyed watching this one. So, do you want to dive into... Oh, wait, no, first, before we get into it, I did want to say, new Charmed Season 3 trailer is out.
Teaser trailer drop. Whoa, I am hyped.
That told us nothing.
Yeah, it told us absolutely nothing.
All it was them looking bored in the same shots we've seen. Like, it didn't look like it was any different than what we saw in season 2, which blew.
A car is coming. Some kind of car man.
There's a car man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's just a fucking car. There's a car man waiting.
I realize it's going to be real weird for a while because there's still COVID restrictions, obviously, so they're not going to be able to film like anything too elaborate or filled with crowds or whatever, but
Man, will they not be able to split the sisters up into their own storyline?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be more of season 2. They were doing that before COVID. That's a disappointment because I thought maybe they would be like, oh shit, everyone hated season 2. Why don't we try and make it not that bad?
Well, maybe they'll have to keep the sisters together because they can't, have that big of a cast.
They didn't have that big of a cast, though. They just have, like, one person that was designated that sister's person.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really fill me with a lot of hope, but I thought I would acknowledge that that's coming January. Whether we like it or not, Charm's coming back.
Whether you like it or not.
But let's talk about something far more enjoyable than the entirety of season 2, which is We All Scream for Ice Cream. So we begin at P3.
Which season was this? This was
3.
3.
This was Prue's swan song season. We began at P3, and I'm not sure what was playing. I'm certain it was a replacement song because it just sounded too generic.
Yeah, maybe.
Just kind of like a can't say some real lyrics. Piper is hiding behind some curtains, complaining that a guy at the bar is watching her. And Phoebe shows up behind her wearing like this shirt was wild, Phelan.
Yeah.
It was like a loose short sleeve shirt, but it was made out of like faux pink velvet, and it had like a collar, and it was oversized and weird trimming on it. Like, it was really ugly. Oh, and it was a crop top too. So Prue shows up, and she's got an ugly tube top on. Not quite as ugly as the shirt that Phoebe's wearing, but it's pretty bad.
It's an ugly off.
Yeah, it looks like it's made out of like quilting material or a bandana or something. Anyway, she's like, I got some news. I got a song stuck in my head.
I think P3 even looked a little bit better in these earlier seasons than some of the later ones.
They were actually doing more stuff with like the crowd and stuff. I feel in the later seasons it was a lot of like when they're shut down and it could be just Piper and they don't have to have a crowd or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or a band.
Yeah, I don't know who's running things when they're doing P3 half the time, because it's like the three of them all just sitting around yapping about stuff. Like, who's watching the bar? Who's managing? Like,
the only person I ever remember working at P3, other than them, was Leo. Mm-hmm. He wasn't working there at the moment.
No.
I think maybe once or twice they might show a bartender.
Yeah, they showed some random people later, I think, yeah. And they're like, oh, you need to check on this shipment or something. And then they complain they don't have time for that.
But yeah, mystery there. But Prue's got a song stuck in her head. Let's stay focused, Phelan. Prue's got a song stuck in her head. This is important stuff.
Yeah. It kind of goes like this. Da-da-da-da-da. And that's why Phoebe's wearing her McDonald's uniform later. She's got a nice red and yellow shirt a bit later in the episode.
Yeah. She was wearing one of those like really popular around the time like random Asian text shirts.
Yeah, it did have that on it too. But at first I just saw the red and yellow. I'm like, oh, she's late for a shift at McDonald's, I guess.
Phoebe helpfully says that one time she had the Facts of Life theme stuck in her head for 3 years. But they can't identify what song it is, which is kind of like a universal experience, right? You know, when you're like, either you're the person or someone else is like, I want to know what this song is. It's like, da 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 da, and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like nothing. No, it's like, I wonder how much real life is kind of creeping into some of this because it's like Prue's getting annoyed with the other two while they're sniping at her. I'm like,
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of typical Shannen Doherty acting, though. Like, she's kind of annoyed a lot.
Yeah.
So they can't identify this song. And Prue's about to leave when they're like, hey, wait a minute. We were invited to this big family barbecue by our old friend Justin, who I guess she's flirting with or dating. I have no idea.
Did you check on this? Was Justin a thing?
I don't know. Let's look it up. Charmed Justin. Charmed Wiki. Help us out
on
here.
The Charmed Wiki.
Charmed Wiki. Justin.
Justin Harper?
Is this it? It's maybe. Justin Harper was Piper Halliwell's classmate and friend from high school. He had a one-sided crush on Prue back in school and followed her around, but they never dated until they ran into each other at Piper's high school reunion 10 years later. Oh, this must be from their Coyote Ugly parody.
He appeared
Piper Ugly or Coyote Piper or whatever they called it.
Right. He appeared in 2 episodes, so it's a big arc Piper. For Justin.
Oh, he must have broken up with her when she was in that evil wedding and they turned her evil. I think Prue was turned evil in this one. Pride and Gloom. Anyway, yeah, you called it. We found it. Oh, okay. After dating for a while, Justin invited Prue to his family barbecue. Prue decided not to go due to the relationship still being in the flirty banter stage. Phoebe suggested that she was avoiding it because it was a big family gathering due to her issues with her father, or with their father.
Yet none of that logic made any sense.
I guess they didn't go, though, because they never bring up this barbecue again. Just in that conversation. Like, don't want to go to a family thing, got daddy issues.
I don't know what kind of logic that is, though. It's like she didn't want to go to that because that would seem too close, too quick in the relationship, yet it's something he invited her to. So, like, why would she think that he'd be like, oh, you actually came?
Well, maybe she wasn't into it, like she's like, I don't know you that well.
Yeah, but
like,
the way she put it up, like, that would make some sense, but that wasn't the way she put it. She made it seem like he would be repulsed if she came to the thing he invited her to.
Well, let me tell you, I've been invited to family get-togethers from people I don't know that well or I'm not that close to, and it is awkward as fuck.
No,
so
I mean, I don't really blame her. There's
plenty.
There's a lot of good excuses to not want to go to this thing.
I can't believe. I would have liked to see an episode about Justin's big family barbecue, though. Good old Justin. So she starts humming the song again, really, so they can do like a transition to the next scene where we see an ice cream truck, which is playing this song. We see
someone with a phone who says, "You know that new song you're looking for? Listen to this."
And they go, "Please stop calling me."
Every dumb tune you hear, you're doing this.
Remember the hit song on the radio is an ice cream truck theme?
Yeah, just someone humming it too. Yeah, I love this song.
Well, this ice cream truck is in a foggy alley, like it always seems to be. And a little boy comes up to it. And the guy's like, "You didn't say please." He pops his head out the window, and the camera zooms in on the little boy. He's like, sucked into the truck.
It's Clint Howard in the truck, and he goes, "Wow, you guys gotta try this."
I was sick too when I was little, but I'm better now.
That was a real that guy. What was this actor's name? Bob Clendenin.
Yeah, Bob Clendenin. Yeah, he's one of those guys that shows up all the time and things. You can tell this is another thing with Charmed trying a little more. I mean, he's not a huge name or anything, but he's a recognizable guy. So it's like,
they were also
it's not like Margoyle later on, where you're like, well, who's the Margoyle?
Excuse me? You're looking at Shoe Shine Guy from The Dark Knight Rises? This guy, I appreciated this Ice Cream Man character. They were trying some stuff with him, which is more than Charmed usually does, even in these early seasons. They had kind of an arc for this guy. This episode actually, it tried some things. It had like a twist. It had some, character bits.
Them trying to save people. I mean, they fail a few times, but they're trying.
Who did they save in this episode? Themselves and their dad.
Yeah.
Who did they save?
I said there was an attempt made, at least by Prue.
Okay, so...
Though, I do want to say, I wish it was Clint Howard, though, and this was just the Charmed ones versus the Ice Cream Man.
This guy kind of seems like the guy you would hire if you can't get Clint Howard, though, right?
Yeah.
He got them Clint Howard vibes.
It made a direct
the vaguely
sequel.
creepy bald
They couldn't
man.
get him back. Yeah, I guess it could have been him.
He's the one who takes over for the Ice Cream Man. As we learn in this episode, there's a whole lineage of Ice Cream Man, so maybe he took over.
Yeah.
Ice Cream Men, I should say. Mans isn't a word. But he took over from Clint Howard.
You'll always have been my Ice Cream Man.
The Ice Cream Man's going. It feels different this time.
The Watcher! He was the Ice Cream Man the whole time!
And then we found out about the War Ice Cream Man, and the whole lineup of Ice Cream Men is really confusing. Yeah, but the audiobook's cleared up a little bit about the Ice Cream Man. You remember when the Ice Cream Man was working out a lot, and then they were like, carrot juice.
When the sixth Ice Cream Man did those weird sexy chocolate adverts.
Remember when the Ice Cream Man became the Ice Cream Woman and everyone was like,
I would never get my ice cream from a woman.
Women can't sell ice cream. Holy shit. Okay, hey, we're at the opening credits, by the way.
Speeding along through this one.
The replacement opening credits go to another replacement song.
Yeah. Whose job was it to have to go through Charmed and remove the licensed tracks? That would have been fun.
You know what? This copy of it looked really nice, though. It was HD and widescreen. It was one of the remasters they've done. It looked really good.
Yeah.
And the effects look the same. They didn't look any better or worse, which is pretty good for a remaster of a late 90s, early 2000s program.
There's the odd establishing shot, though, that they didn't have in HD, so that kind of stuck out when watching the rest of it in HD.
Yeah, but I would rather that if I was a real charmed hard. Like, I would rather that than them replace it with, like, newer footage. That's always jarring. They did that in the Baywatch remasters, and you're like, what is this new-ass plain footage in here?
Yeah, you can't get, like, period-appropriate old stock footage in HD. You probably shouldn't bother.
How wild is that? Just shows in our recent memory to say, do you have period-appropriate footage?
Yeah, but I mean, like,
It's
newer
true, though.
shot stuff, it doesn't fit. It looks different. You can't jam that in there and it be cohesive.
And finding period-appropriate sounding replacement tracks, too, because I was watching some old Beverly Hills 90210, and they put a replacement song that was like a sound-alike for a Black Eyed Peas, and I'm like, this does not happen in early 90s. Absolutely not. But after that, Prue is having a sweaty dream about a winter wonderland and a screaming child. She wakes up and goes to get the newspaper.
She goes, how can I make that reality?
The sweaty Alyssa Milano fetishist wasn't on their game for this one. Take screen caps of Shannen Doherty. I guess they're not a Shannen Doherty fan, that's all. So she goes to get the paper and she hears the song again. She goes back inside. Phoebe's in the kitchen on her laptop, Googling coal.
Yeah, this was really confusing because, like, it looks like she's on an actual website online, and this is like a little pop-up with the coal biography on it.
But it's clearly like a little word pad opened up or something.
It doesn't look like a word pad because there's no text stuff or anything at the top. It just looks like a pop-up from the website she's on, because you see a web browser behind it, and then you just see this small little box, but there's no, like,
but the box
tools
is just
at
a
the
bunch
top.
Of text on white. It just looks like a notepad or something.
Well, it's like on gray, but it looks.
Yeah.
But there's no, like, text. There's no word stuff at the top of it you typically see in a Word program. So it just looks like a pop-up from the website.
Maybe. Whatever it is, they don't have any, like, they don't have, like, a Google equivalent or search engine equivalent. It's all very blank, so it's not really clear what exactly they're getting at, other than it appears to be a search engine.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a very basic-looking Mac-type window open with all this info.
Yeah. Oh, and what info it is, right? Like, they have this whole, like, write-up on Cole. I think at this point, she knows he's a demon because they talk about it on there, on the write-up there, and this might be when the others think he's dead, but she has not told them that she helped save him.
Maybe.
And they have, like, a fallout about it later when they find out that he's still alive, so I think Phoebe's hiding this.
Yeah, he's, like, living in a graveyard, isn't he, or something?
He was on the run because all the other demons were trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm. It's like in a mausoleum or something.
I think that, like, Prue finds out about it when, like, the lawyer guy gets killed, maybe? Not lawyer. There was some other guy, like a cop or something, like a black guy, and then, like, she was trying to save him from getting killed. Maybe I'm mixing up my storylines here. He was, like, a recurring character for a bit. This info is great. It has, like, his name, like Cole's name, his birth date, his mom and his dad.
His dislikes.
His favorite song. I love it. Did we ever meet his parents? It has the list of his like, it names his parents and what they did.
Yeah, what was his mom's
They must have
name?
gone. It was like Elizabeth, Demon.
Elizabeth Demon.
And then parentheses alive? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Hello, I'm looking for an Elizabeth Demon?
Elizabeth Demon, please? They must have mentioned something about when they were going into his history, the fact that he had a demon mom and a human dad because he was part demon. I don't think we ever met his parents, though. They might have put that alive in there as, like, a future storyline they were thinking of.
Yeah, like, maybe we'll come back to this.
It's got his alter ego listed, Balthazar.
Yeah.
Freakazoid. Evil allies.
Yeah, evil allies. Like to imagine like below that and where we couldn't see it had like evil foes too and just lists Margoyle. Like, Balthazar and Margoyle do not get along.
If it's evil allies, do they have good allies? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, does he have good allies?
Evil allies.
Maybe it's not
Who wrote this? Who wrote this whole page on him?
It's like, it doesn't even say like evil foes. It just says lackluster foes. Margoyle.
Gray area foes. What are they in Futurama? The ones that are really indifferent.
Oh,
are they just called grays?
Maybe. I mean, they have the avatars in Charmed.
Okay, yeah, the Avatar allies. They were his allies, but that was later, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, she's also on... She gets a message. This is hinting toward later in the episode. She gets a message on Internet Instant Messenger from an old friend.
An old friend.
Who is this old friend?
Whoa.
But she closes the laptop before before Prue can find out what's up. And Piper comes in. She goes, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but what I got is better.
This is terrible. You imagine someone coming in and saying that? It's like, go away. Don't come in here and interrupt our conversation like that.
Whatever.
You can wait for an opening and talk about your thing.
I did notice, if I can give some credit, this was like a little bit softer, shrill banter between them. Like Piper was like a little less mean than she is later.
Little.
She would say it, but she would soften it a little to try and sound more joking, to hide her true hatred for everyone around her.
You get plenty of Piper hate, though.
She lets them know that Dad's in town. Someone that they know, someone or other, saw him around. And spoilers, he's another actor. Town. Yeah.
Oh, he's a different actor. He's a different character. He has a different name. Totally different person.
Yeah, this is the first time that we meet new Victor.
Yeah, this is the first time we meet Victor Bennett.
He wasn't even. He had Halliwell as a last name the first time he showed up,
and he was a completely different character.
Like, yeah, they give us the new backstory here, and they sort of try to crowbar in like that it maybe fits with the previous story they gave us, but not at all.
Yeah, it's like Victor Halliwell. The time you met him in the show, is clear he is more of like the deadbeat dad who didn't really...
Oh yeah, he was a dick, yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't care about really being part of their lives that much. Versus Victor Bennett, who's the dad who did want to be a part of their lives, but was shoved out by evil Grams.
Yeah, he's totally just like, cool dad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yeah, oh, sorry guys. Sorry about that whole thing. Maybe this is a situation like on, let's mention Buffy again. Take a drink, everyone. Maybe this is like a Dawn situation. They just rewrote and it was this dad the whole time. And everyone's like, oh yeah, this was totally like our dad the whole time.
Yeah.
Why were we so down on him?
Maybe it's like, Grams, like...
Grams did it.
Yeah, she did because
her spell was fading away from... She made them think it was the dick dad.
Yeah. Well, she didn't like, too, that the Halliwell name came from him. So she's like, I'm going to mess with the fabric of reality so that Halliwell was the maiden name. And that's what screwed it up. And now you got a different Victor.
Grams was the real Emperor Palpatine the whole time. She was behind the scenes.
I mean, it makes the most sense.
She was the most evil one on the show. So when they reveal that Dad's in town, they do dramatic zooms on everyone as, like, Prue tells them how much she hates their dad. Everyone... Well, like, she has to go into, like, I hate Dad because he left us and da-da-da. And every single close-up, they zoom in on everyone like it's a big moment.
Mm-hmm. Zooms right into Phoebe's nose.
Prue's got to go do a photo shoot. She's a photographer by this point.
Mm-hmm.
And as she's going to work, she's in an elevator, she hears a little girl humming the ice cream truck music.
Everyone starts humming it, though, don't they?
Maybe. I think it was just the little girl, but... Does that mean that... Oh, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for the listeners. We'll get to it. I don't want to spoil it for the listeners. Okay, so then we have another scene of Piper looking for Dad. She goes to some business place that he was seeing. They think that he's doing some business there. And she talks to the secretary. And this was a needlessly bitchy moment. I gave her credit for being softer, but really, why did this happen? She goes up to the secretary, and she's like, "Hi, You don't really care who I am, do you?"
Yeah.
Why are you
Classic Piper.
She's just sitting there, like, doesn't even look pissy. She's just like, all right, can I help you?
Then she, like, gets in her face about it. She's like, "Oh, where's this stupid Victor Bennett?" And she's like, "Oh, I can't find his name in the database." She goes, here's a picture of him from, like, 10 years ago. You know who he is?
No.
Like, a picture from 10 years ago.
What's wrong with her? She goes around stalking random strangers that kind of look like Dad, but aren't paid for lines.
Yeah,
Dad, what are you doing, Dad?
Yeah, there's just some older guy walking by. She grabs him by the shoulder, does the pull around so you can see it's not him. And it's so awkward when they do this, because you need to pay this person for at least a line, because it's so dumb when he just goes, and she goes, sorry, and then he just, like, turns around and leaves without a word.
He had things to do. he was doing business at the business building. Prue is on a lunch break, and she's sitting with Phoebe discussing Dad, and Phoebe's like, "Yeah, I really understand dude issues because of Cole and all that, because everything's about her." Everything's about her and Cole.
Yeah.
Prue hears the song again, so she takes off and she finds this little girl humming it by a fountain. The little girl is also not paid for lines. So she's like, "Hey, where'd you hear that song?" And then she just points to the ice cream truck across the road.
Meanwhile, Phoebe is throwing a big stink about this whole thing the whole way.
Oh, before that, she's trying to dismiss all of it. She's like,
riddle solved, so now you can stop humming that stupid song. What about Justin's barbecue?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, "This song is stupid. Why do you even bother with this song?" But, I mean, to be fair, Prue's logically, she's like, "It's the middle of winter. Why would a little girl want ice cream in the middle of winter?" No. Kids are known for never wanting ice cream.
No, but it would be weird that an ice cream truck is going out in the middle of winter, because you don't typically see that.
That's true. I know in some places, like in Russia, in winter, ice cream is the most popular.
Yeah. I don't think
but
they're
obviously,
in
obviously they're not there. But some people are into it. Yeah, it is a little bit strange. Yeah, that would be the question
I like
really
ice
to ask.
Any time of the year, but it's
that would be the real question to ask. Would be like, why is the ice cream truck out? Not why would the kid want it? Because a kid sees ice cream, they're gonna try and get that ice cream.
Yeah, definitely.
She also wonders why there's no parents around, which I don't know. She saw like the girl in the elevator with a parent. She was like holding hands with a mom.
Mm-hmm.
The girl by the fountain wasn't, but there was a big crowd around. Her mom could have been, or her dad, or whoever could have been somewhere.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like solid logic.
No, I mean, she does run off for the truck without anyone accompanying her.
Well, she runs off to a foggy alley where the truck is now. It was on the street, but then it's in a foggy alley, so it must have moved.
You know, I mean, it was driving by.
Oh, okay. I thought it was stationary. Mm. Well, it goes to a foggy alley. And the little girl is being dragged into this ice cream truck. You see her legs sticking out of the window. Prue and Phoebe, they go to save the little girl, and they get sucked in. There's like a...
Yeah, though they pull the little girl out of it first.
Right.
And then... like, Ice Cream Man sticks his head out. He's like, huh? And then he just sucks them all in. I was like, well, why wasn't it strong enough to do that just immediately? Why were they able to pull her out and then, wait, turn it on extra suck now?
They turn into the Mac and Me aliens. Just
the stretchy suck in.
Yeah. It was reminding me of a very specific effect that I can't think of now. I keep thinking like reading Rainbow or something, but I don't think it is.
Rainbow.
Just one of those generic kind of like, they kind of stretch out and fold over kind of effects.
Okay.
It's like some color surrounds them.
Mm-hmm.
They fall into a snowy ice cream truck dimension.
Yeah. It's just
Just
like
a bunch of wintry trees and
super
snow.
winter world, like Narnia or something.
Yeah, they went to Narnia. Carnia.
Carnia.
There's a car man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's just a fucking car.
The ice cream truck man is there and he demands to know who they are. And they realize they don't have any powers in this dimension. They hear a scream and then the ice cream man runs away.
And like Phoebe is still complaining. She's been complaining the whole time. She's like, "Why couldn't you just think of like boy band tunes?" Prue.
She's chastising her for getting into this situation where they have to save children.
Yeah, at this point they think they have to save a kid, and she's still complaining about it. It's like, I'd rather these kids die than they interrupt my lunch break. Or I guess Phoebe isn't
wasn't
even on a
lunch
lunch break. Yeah,
Phoebe doesn't have a job. She's just
No.
a bum.
Yeah.
She's just a bum, like, mooching off her sisters.
Yeah, so it interrupted her important conversation about the stupid barbecue. Ugh.
She has more Googling to do about her demon boyfriend.
How many Cole fan sites are there?
They find a GeoCities page and it's got that picture of him that she put in
with
the Book of
his head
Shadows.
on his
where-
hand.
yeah.
Mm.
He's leaning into his hand in his Sears portrait. A little boy runs up to them asking for help, and he says that the Nothing is after him.
We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
So they go and hide out, and they see like a little girl. She comes running out of the trees.
It was the one they just followed, the one they tried to pull out.
Right, okay, it's that little girl. And Prue's like, run!
Yeah.
As the Nothing sucks her up in the air, and she stretches out and disappears.
And they're like, another one saved by the charmed ones.
Yeah, and the day is saved. Piper's at P3. She's trying to contact her sisters when the hot bar guy shows up that was hitting on her or following her around before. He says his name's Caleb, and he's new in town, but he's trying to meet someone special. And she's like, I got a fiancé, so whatever, back off, shit stain.
He acts like a creep, and it's unnecessary and extra unnecessary once you find out what he's actually there for.
Yeah, this is all clearly, like, leading to a misunderstanding, but he's like a big fucking idiot, because he never explains what's going on at all. Even if he's trying to be, like, secretive about it, like, I don't know why
Try to be covert.
he would go about it this way.
But she
Yeah,
goes
covert.
like, I have a boyfriend. He's like, oh, really? Do you really have a boyfriend? Oh, do you have big muscles? I'd like to see that. And she's like, maybe like one of my dumb sisters instead. And you're like, oh, do you really have sisters with big muscles?
Like she's like, I got some single sisters. You want to go creep on them for a while?
Yeah, I love she would do that too. Like, oh, I think this guy's a big creep. Why don't you hit on my sisters instead?
They're both single. Fuck Justin, I guess.
Look, this is inconveniencing Piper at this point. Who cares about the dumb sisters?
So, wait, Prue's got the whole thing with flirty Justin they're trying to get with at the barbecue. And Phoebe just recently, they think Cole died, so her boyfriend was a demon who died. And it's like, yeah, go hit on her.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
That's our Piper.
So back in the ice cream truck dimension, Phoebe has a premonition of Prue as a child playing with New Dad in the same playground that they see in this wintry dimension.
Mm-hmm.
They're going back and forth. There's P3 again. Piper calls Leo, and she complains that he was late because he was busy with other innocents.
It's so nice to see nicer Piper in these earlier seasons.
Look, I didn't say she didn't do anything. I just meant, like, instead of going like, why were you gone so long? She'd be like, why were you gone so long? She'd say it like an octave lower, you know? The softer side of Piper. She's like, go find my sister so I can get this Caleb guy off my back.
She goes, like, go sense for them or something.
Yeah, I think that's something they've done before. Like, he can sense them.
Like, he goes, I think they're fine. She goes, he goes,
yeah, she sighs at him. She sighs because he's like, I'm sure they're fine. And then she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Like Marge on them.
Find my sisters. Homie.
It's like going to Yardley Smith trying to do Marge.
Yeah, and then no one can do Marge, and not even Marge can do Marge anymore. He can't sense them. Because of course they're in the ice cream dimension, and while they're there, they find a big open portal and escort the kids out of it. And the ice cream man sees them and he's like, no! But like, where was he anyway this whole time? Like, he just leaves a big open portal and is like, the kids are getting out.
Yeah, and he apparently opened the door for a reason, but I don't know why he opened it and then just wandered around.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he could have done a lot of things to prevent this.
Yeah, because if he doesn't open the door, they're not getting out, apparently. It's also weird, though, because it's like, Prue spots him, and then, like, it takes, like, a minute before stupid Phoebe looks, and she's like, well, how are we gonna find this ice cream man? And it's like, oh, I think he's a lot closer than you think, Phoebe. Oh, really? Where could that be? Because I don't know where he would be. She's like, he's right over there!
She smelled the ice cream man droppings, and then followed the scent to the herd.
Little ice cream poos. The chocolate ice creams that look like poos.
They like taste it and he's nearby. It's fresh.
It's fresh.
As they're getting away, he tries to grab the little boy. And the little boy smiles at him and then burns his hands. He's got blisters all over his hands.
Like, this is after he gets out of the truck. So this is why the little boy has his powers again, I guess.
Well, he's trying to leave. He's like in the middle of leaving, I think.
No,
because
the boy's on the outside of the truck, and like the ice cream man pops out the back to try and grab him back in.
Right, but he ends up trapped in that dimension.
Yeah, because the ice cream man's just leaning out the back of the truck, and then he burns him.
Okay, so he's just leaning
and he
out.
falls back in. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's how that happens. They all see this go down, and they go, "Oh my god!" Actually, quite the opposite. The kid's got like a deep demon voice.
Yes. The twist: the kids are the demons. Ice Cream Man was the good guy.
No, children, you are the demons. The kids are the I love this. Like, Charmed spends so much time saying that, like, evil is genetic.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, here's what I want to put out there. Mm-hmm. A case for the demon children, right? So they're pretty evil in this episode. They do stuff that's, you know, pretty evil. But are they this way because they're predisposed to it as demon children? Or because this fucking ice cream guy's following them around trying to suck them into their truck all the time?
Really depends on the species of demon too, doesn't it?
What is the argument on the Judge John Hodgman show? Like, my argument presupposes is maybe they're not evil?
I think once the ice cream man usually gets them, that's the end of them, isn't it?
Yeah, but they seem to, I don't know. I guess that's true. They know their friends are being sucked into an ice cream truck, but by the time they hear the little tune, they're powerless to escape it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be terrifying if you knew this could happen to you or your friends at any time.
Is the ice cream man like the demon boogeyman? Like, all of the demon parents are like, if you hear the ice cream man, bad little or good little demon children are gonna get sucked in there.
Yeah. Terrifying ice cream man.
terrified of the ice cream man.
Yeah. Like
There's so much lore to this.
We find out this tune, it's like demon nip for these particular ice cream demons or whatever.
He's a Pied Piper for the demons.
Yeah. Because they can't resist his siren call.
But not the more evil Piper. He's the less evil Piper.
Yeah.
He lures them in and then they get sucked in by this nothing. There's so many of these generic ass named things. The nothing, the all, the source, the whatever. And it's the same fucking thing in the end, really.
It's weird too, because this is apparently another demon you can't kill unless you get it sucked up by this nothing. Which, I mean...
Yeah, and they don't seem to distinguish what kinds of demons they are. They're just demon children. Generic demon children.
But generic demon children you can't get rid of unless you suck them into a nothing hole in an ice cream truck sky.
This doesn't... you know what? I'm going to call BS on this. This doesn't pass my smell test.
It's just like in Charmed where they keep saying oh, this demon can only be killed by a power of 3. So it's are there other powers of 3 or is it really just these particular 3/4 later? But it's really nothing else can kill this thing so it can go around unchecked unless these specific 3 come and do anything about it? That's stupid.
What is the nothing, though? The nothing seems to just exist in this ice cream truck dimension, and yet it's non-discriminating about what it sucks into the nothing.
Yeah.
And you would think if it was specifically in this ice cream truck dimension, the ice cream man would be exempt from being sucked into the nothing, and yet he's in danger about being sucked into the nothing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's insane that this is the best way to dispose of these evil demon kids.
Why the hell did you do that?
I remember they had an episode later down the line. This was maybe season 6 or something. And they find a demon baby. And there's this whole question of nature versus nurture. What do they do with this baby? Because the baby hasn't done anything yet. But it's a demon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that perhaps had a more nuanced discussion over it, even though they don't seem to acknowledge it in most other episodes.
Mm.
But it would be kind of I mean, if you just saw our leads blasting away killing children, demon children.
We certainly see them throwing them around later in this episode.
If you love seeing children with adult stunt doubles flying around, being flung into boxes and cars, you will love this episode.
I mean, it would be interesting if they brought up that point at all, though, that these are just kids. Is there really no way to try and redeem them or anything? But Charmed is so rarely interested in bringing up that point.
They don't seem to have any discussion of this at all about they're not interested in even in passing mentioning that these kids might just be kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're just black and white evil.
Yeah.
Mwahahars.
They are. We see them killing someone in their next scene, just for the fun of it, too. And, the lead boy's what are you two doing? We're just killing someone for the lols. He's oh, we need to be more discreet till we get rid of the ice cream truck, and we have to kill those charmed ones because they know about us.
Here's the actual dialogue, how it went. What you doing? Killing?
Yeah. Though it's
it was so stupid.
The charmed ones wouldn't know if he hadn't have done that dumb demon voice at them, quite the opposite.
Well, no, he did burn the guy's flesh.
I mean, I guess. He could have just thrown that guy back and acted like he was just still escaping him, probably.
He was sizzling his
he
hand.
could have done that more covert, too.
Oh, yeah, the demon kids are pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But I guess in that case, they are children, so maybe they're just kind of dumb kids that happen to be demons.
Maybe.
The charmed one's greatest enemies.
Dumb kids.
Back at home, Leo's yeah, everything's probably going to be fine, even though I can't sense them. They're probably just going to come home any minute now.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think that, but...
Yeah, you think they're off the grid. That should mean something really big happened. And like
he should be able to sense them by this point too. They've been out of the truck for a bit.
And they do walk through the door like right after he says that too, to prove the dumb point, I guess.
What kind of fucking white lighter is he? He's their white lighter, and he's like, they're probably fine.
Maybe they'll show up. We'll see. Oh, they did. Well, there you go.
So they show up and explain everything that happened. And they go look in the Book of Shadows, and they don't find anything on the kids, but they find a whole page on the ice cream man. And yet, there's a lot of stuff left out about the ice cream man, as we find out at the later in the episode. Yeah. But like in this, it just says like he's a mortal dude. He's just some guy who is like the Slayer. He was chosen to be the ice cream man, to be the guy who drives this interdimensional ice cream truck around to suck demon children in.
Yeah. Like, after discovering all this, like, and that they aided the bad guys and that the good guy is now dying in the ice cream truck dimension, what do? They go and open the bar and hang out there.
Oh, right. They do go to the bar because they think that Phoebe's vision about Prue and their dad means something, so they got to meet up with Dad. And she reveals to them...
The only way to do that is to go open the bar and work there for a while.
Yeah. She reveals to them, and they take this pretty well, that she's been in contact with their dad for like 3 weeks. I think it was 3 months. It was 3 months that she was in contact with him.
Yeah, the old friend dad.
Yeah, whose dad sends emails from an old friend?
So dumb.
If any of his emails had any information that's specific to them, if they're reading these emails from an old friend, they'd be like, is that Dad? Like, are they just so paranoid that they're looking through her emails?
Yeah.
The children, by the way, I just want to mention, they're going around just killing other ice cream truck drivers.
Yeah. They're idiots.
Because they're dumb kids. Right, so the girls go to P3. They're waiting for Dad, and Caleb shows up again. And Piper gets Leo to shoo him off. Leo also knows what's going on, does not inform them.
He doesn't know till later.
Oh, does he? He just thinks this is some creep hitting on them?
Yeah, because he says he told them at the end.
Oh, okay. All right, points to Leo. They shoo him off. Phoebe is wearing one of those spiky one-size-fits-all shirts. Remember those things? Like, they're just like, they're tiny, and then you buy them and like stretch them out.
Oh.
They were like super popular back then. I just thought I'd note that. Noted. So Victor shows up, Phoebe hugs him, but Prue is having none of it. She's like, what do you know about the playground? Victor is like, oh, first of all, what playground? Like, there's no...
Yeah.
Like, can you elaborate?
Give me a second to figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Like, what? Tell me about the playground! What do you know? So it turns out, he tells this whole backstory about why he really left the family. It wasn't because he was a deadbeat dad that just left for the secretary and then he couldn't handle magic or whatever. It turns out, one day, due to some contrived circumstances, he is in charge of Prue and Prue only.
Well, maybe the others were just sleeping. It's only Prue who woke up.
No, he says that the mom was taking care of the other two that day for some reason.
Okay, then.
So he's just in charge of Prue, and she goes to sleep and wakes up hearing the ice cream truck.
Because she's a demon.
Because she's a demon and she is lured out. And she sees one of her demon friends, little demon boy, get sucked into the truck, so she wants to go save him. And as she's in the process of trying to save him, getting sucked in, Victor goes to save her, and does, but because he's saved her, Grams is like, you can't protect them because you don't have magic.
You know, this is perfect logic. When something like this happens again and you don't save them like you did for this time.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? And this seems to be, and I completely missed if they explain this, so maybe some Charmanders out there can explain. But for some reason, he seems to be the only one who can open the ice cream truck. So my thoughts are that it's because he's mortal, and they have powers, so like mortals can open the truck.
I don't know, like the only
That's why
thing
the ice cream man is mortal.
Yeah, the only reason it seemed to me like that recall hearing in the episode is they just knew he could open it because he did to save Prue when she was a kid. But
but there's got to be a reason, right?
You'd think.
I don't know. Yeah, stupid Grams. Grams is the villain of this whole series. Like, hey, get the fuck out of their life. Stupid mortal.
Yeah, and this was like, I guess, the inciting incident where she kicked him out of their lives.
Yeah, that was the last thing that he did as their father. She said, get the fuck out, and then he left, and then made them believe that he ran off with the secretary and was a deadbeat this whole time. What a fucking bitch. Man. So they're like, hey, why don't you help us save this ice cream truck man, since you can open the ice cream truck? They go to Ice Cream Truck Alley and immediately get their asses handed to them by children. The children just fling them back.
Yeah. The little girl demon, like, she has the Sonya Fatality kiss blow.
I wrote that in my notes, the Sonya Fatality.
She literally blows them away.
Fatality.
Yeah, she's one of the few ones that, like, a couple of them have, like, specialty powers, so they all seem to be different breeds of demons. Maybe they're, like, opposite charmed ones, you know, like, the demons, but they have specific powers, like the charmed ones have specific powers.
The brat ones.
Yeah, the brat ones. They're the brat pack.
Yeah.
So they get their asses handed to them by children, and Piper and Phoebe chase after the kids. They run away for reasons that are not explained. I think the explanation they go with is that they are just going to the alley to destroy the ice cream truck. They are not going after the charmed ones. They got in the way, so they just flung them away and ran off to go.
Phoebe and Piper
come back another day.
Get the kids, and they were like, we'll go get the truck while they go get the kids.
Well, yeah, I just mean, like, why did the children run away? I think it was because they weren't expecting it, and they're like, we'll come back or go get that truck, because, like, it wasn't there, and they weren't expecting the girls to be there.
Yeah, I don't know why the kids do it, honestly, because they're trying to spy on them to find out where the truck is.
Yeah, they were purposefully, part of their plan was to destroy the charmed ones specifically. They say, like, we need to get rid of them, and then get rid of this ice cream truck, because, like, they could put us back in the truck.
Yeah, but they wanted to get rid of the truck primarily, because that's the thing that can get rid of them. So they should have just watched them.
But they were after both of them. They mentioned the charmed ones and the ice cream truck. So when they show up and the charmed ones are there, they're like, oh no, the charmed ones.
Yeah, but they should have just stayed hidden until they found the truck for them.
That's true. But they weren't expecting them there. That's the thing. They just went to the alley to find the truck.
Yeah, but
they just thought that they would be there.
Maybe. I mean, they didn't have to reveal themselves, though.
Yeah, but they didn't know.
What, the kids?
Yeah, the kids weren't expecting them to be there. They just showed up because they were looking for the truck.
Yeah.
And then they saw them and they surprised them. And then they flung them back and ran away. That's why they were there. It wasn't like they hopped out and went, and then ran.
Well, they kind of did. They were already down the alleyway.
Oh. This is a dumb argument over a dumb episode. Okay, so Piper and Phoebe chase after the kids. Prue and Victor go to find the ice cream truck. They go to a tow lot because they see there's a tow sign there. Dad opens the ice cream truck. They go inside. They find the injured ice cream truck man. And this is his big scene.
Yeah.
This is his Emmy moment scene for the ice cream truck man. He is severely injured. And he's like, yeah, I have friends in high places. Like, I guess the elders? I don't know. And he's like, they told me that you were the charmed one, so that's why I let you out.
Yeah. They're like, don't worry, we'll save you. And then nothing sucks him up. They're
carrying him out like he's like critically injured and he's gonna like pass out, and Prue's like, don't you dare, you stay with us, ice cream man. And he's like, I can be replaced. You can't. And then he pushes them away and gets sucked into the nothing. So they went there ironically for nothing.
Yeah.
I found it very ironic that it was Prue that he told that couldn't be replaced.
Yeah, very good.
and to the new dad, actually, who was a replacement.
Prue's kind of like, I feel a little bad. We stopped by P3 for a few hours, had some drinks before we bothered to come back and try and save you. Might have gotten you out in time first.
It was important that I chewed out Dad, okay? It's important I went, tell us about the playground! Piper and Phoebe are watching the kids as they just state what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, all that's left is to destroy the truck. Yeah!
When Piper gets knocked out by a pipe or something.
Oh, that's when they leave, because the children don't know they're watching them. They go to the tow lot, because I don't know why they went to see the kids do that and then went to the tow lot. Like, they could have just followed them the whole time. This, like, did nothing to tell us that they wanted to destroy the ice cream truck. Like, they already knew that.
Yeah.
But they go to the tow lot, and the kids follow them there, or they end up going there at the same time. They're, like, clawing cars, like Freddy Krueger style. Like, one of them throws a pipe into Piper.
Yeah, you think pipes would be on her side.
This is a really hilarious shot, a pipe hitting her in the head. Yeah. She just, like, drops like a sack of bricks.
There's one shot, too, where they show her knocked out, and it just looks like one of those shots where the evil thing wakes up. You're expecting her eyes to open and then to be, like, red or black, like, ah!
She misses the whole fight, the whole ending fight.
Mm-hmm.
Was Holly Marie Combs, like, not available for the shoot and they had to write her out for that whole thing? Because it seemed suspicious that she was knocked out and then brought back at the end.
I don't know.
Kind of seems like there was maybe a scheduling conflict there, or maybe they needed a reason why she couldn't freeze them. Like, demons can... I guess it depends on which ones, if they can be frozen,
these are
right?
magic kids that can only be killed by a nothing portal in an ice cream truck, so maybe she couldn't freeze them.
Who knows? In the ice cream truck dimension, Prue is about to get sucked into the nothing, but Victor saves her. Daddy issues solved. Cut back to Phoebe tossing children. They're, like, jumping on her back, and she's, like, throwing them off.
Victor's like, who brought my daughter back from the ice cream truck dimension?
The little girl does her Sonia kiss.
Kiss off!
Yeah, she's kiss off. Prue and Victor show up, and Prue just starts flinging children left and right. She's like, I've got the most useful power. It's flying all over the place. That had to have been really hard to do that shoot, because first of all, you have all these kids, and you only got limited working hours. And then you're doing a fight scene, then you're doing wire work, then you have to find multiple sort of child-sized stunt people to fling into cars and shit.
Can you imagine if this was...
And you're doing a night shoot, though that might have been a set.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Can you imagine if this was a later season episode, and Piper had her explosion power, so she's just blowing kids up left and right?
Be hilarious. There's also a fire throwing child in there. He's, like, throwing the flames around at them. The dad goes to fix the ice cream truck and get the tune going again. Mm-hmm. And one of the kids comes after him, and Prue saves him, so we're even. The truck's repaired, the song lures them in to their painful deaths. Piper missed the whole fight. And then Leo and Caleb show up, and it turns out that Caleb was the new ice cream man.
Yeah, he's like, I knew I'd have to replace him. It's like, he wasn't dead yet before you were showing up.
Yeah, they were like, it was his time. He showed up before this guy was in danger, before anything was happening. So it's like, was the other ice cream man informed that this was his, like, dying hours? Or they're just like, we're not going to do a thing to save him because whatever.
The ice cream elders, they know the future.
They have their whole system here. The ice cream elders, the ice cream avatars, the ice cream source.
Like, yeah, I didn't want to alert you, so I just thought I'd come off as a giant creep in your bar, acting like I'm trying to hit on you. Oh yeah, that was a great system, idiot. And yeah, Leo comes in and says, oh yeah, he filled me in on who he really was. It's like, wow, so he could have just done that immediately.
Yeah, really stupid. But luckily he was replaced, so we don't have to think about any of the, like, what are they going to do now that the ice cream truck man is dead? Who's going to kill children? Well,
Yeah.
the new ice cream man.
They would have just left all those evil demon kids running around rampant, I guess, if they luckily had no replacement.
What if Cole, as a child, had been lured in by an evil ice cream truck man? It would be like, what, an ice cream cart back then when he was a kid?
Yeah. I mean, this
in the 1800s.
This would potentially work, I guess, for any demon, right? You can just throw them in there and get them sucked up by the nothing.
Didn't Prue, like, date a demon priest once and he was a good demon? It just feels like this is, like, morally corrupt here to have him just kill children indiscriminately. I'm not for this ice cream man.
No. I mean, yeah, there could be good versions of this demon because we don't know enough about them.
Holy
All
shit.
we know is these kids, I guess, were bad because they just go around killing people for funsies.
We got the last scene wrapping it up. They're at the house. Dad's leaving town, but everyone's cool now. We have a fashion extravaganza is happening at the house. Piper's got pigtail braids. Phoebe's wearing a bedazzled Wyoming tank top. And Prue is wearing a knitwear halter top. And that's the end of the episode. Everything's cool with Dad.
Yeah.
The end.
He's like, I'm gonna go have an ice cream, and then they all freeze frame and laugh.
Alright, Phelan. Do we do the Margoyle before or after the summary of what we thought? I don't remember. Did we end with Margoyle?
Oh no.
I guess the world's our oyster, right? Let's live for the moment. Who's your Margoyle, Phelan?
Biggest idiot of the episode. Let's see.
The standout loser is the
Standout loser.
the term. Who's the standout loser?
Right. I want to give it to Piper again, so I'm going to give it to Replacement Ice Cream Man, because if he had just said who he was immediately, maybe he could have helped out and even saved the other Ice Cream Man guy, too.
He really bungled it.
Yeah. It's like, do I be upfront at all, or do I just act like I'm a creep in the bar who acts like she doesn't have a boyfriend or sisters for some reason? I know.
Let me be evasive for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, Phelan, as usual, I had two choices. I kinda wanted to pick Graham's, because even off-screen, what a fucking bitch.
Very true.
She's like, because you saved my granddaughter, what if you can't save my granddaughter? Like, if we save innocence, we'll never be able to save innocence. Like, but I had to go with the exact same choice. Replacement Ice Cream Man.
Oh!
What a dum-dum.
Double scoop.
Double scoop. What an idiot.
Yeah.
I just can't believe, like, why didn't we get more Ice Cream Man on this show? There was so much to be mined from the Ice Cream Man.
Remember the Ice Cream Man season of Charmed?
Remember when they couldn't stop talking about Ice Cream Man, and then Piper couldn't decide between Leo or the Ice Cream Man? Love triangle?
And she chose Margoyle.
I choose Margoyle. Phelan, what are your overall thoughts on this episode?
It was pretty Margoyle.
That's true.
It's a kind of silly episode, like you're talking about. There's some oversights here about just throwing all of this kind of demon, I guess, into a giant sky hole in an ice cream truck, and like, maybe that one wasn't evil. We'll never know. It seems quite questionable. The Charmed ones do it again by letting a good guy die and then just go to the bar and dink around for a long time after they found out, too, that this was a good guy and that he's dying in an ice cream truck. And they're like, well, let's go open the bar. But still, it's nice that Prue wants to help people and stuff. There's some attempts here, even though most of it's failure. I do like new Victor. He's he was overall a decent character on this show.
Yeah, I like him. Even though the backstory is a little bit jarring, especially when you have a new actor and you do that at the same
totally
time.
It's totally different. Like I said, the thing that makes sense is Graham's messing with the time stream for her own ego.
Mm-hmm. But it was a better story, so I really don't mind that they changed it completely. And they had some stuff with Prue and their dad, and even with Phoebe and their dad, she was doing some stuff too. And there was a twist in the story, I think a genuine twist. We knew it coming into it this time around, but I think the first time around we didn't suspect the Demon Kid angle.
Yeah, that was pretty decent.
Yeah, like if there had been a little more nuance, perhaps it would have been like a stronger episode, but I found this one enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Like, it was pretty fun, it was pretty early 2000s. Good stuff. I recommend it. If people are wanting to jump into Charmed and you just want to see some silly stuff with like a little bit of grounding in something. Mm-hmm. Phoebe wasn't on her shit too. Like, very minimal mention of Cole or any of her own kind of issues.
Yeah, just cyber stalking him, so
yeah.
It was alright.
Alright, Phelan. I'm done. Done! Alright, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, I'd appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, or review wherever you're enjoying this. You can find us in video form at youtube.com/movie nights the series. You can find Phelan's stuff at youtube.com/Phelis. You can also listen to the show on many podcast format places like iTunes and Spotify, or you can look us up on anchor.fm. under Charmed Hard with a Vengeance or Charmed Rewind. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/movie nights the series or patreon.com/Phelis. Thanks to Peter Hunter for editing this for us. You can find him on Twitter at PretorHunter. Phelan, what are the hashtags?
Hashtag ice cream moron.
Hashtag Carnia.
Hashtag the lighter side of Piper.
Alright, that's it, guys. We'll see you Charmanders around. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, a good New Year, just an alright New Year. I don't wanna get your hopes up or anything. And we'll be seeing you guys around, probably with new Charmed. Ooh.